What's up guys, Tamarakshan here. So finally we have the Hero XPulse 200 BS-6 and this is our detailed review of it. The XPulse 200 from Hero is a bike that's offering great stuff for a very competitive pricing, and right from the start I can see that this is surely the best bike in its segment considering the way it's priced. There is just one variant whose ex-showroom pricing is approximately 1,13,730 Indian rupees, which is like straight away the most competitive pricing for any 200cc bike. And if in case you're interested in the on-road pricing, well, as a matter of fact, for anyone in Kollam, Kerala, you can contact the main Hero authorized dealer in Kollam, which is Venad Motors, and this is their contact details. So now that we have an idea about the pricing thing, let me say why this bike is a very attractive one. It's not only because of the aggressive pricing, but it's also because of how well Hero has put this bike together. At one glance itself, you can see that the XPulse 200 is not a typical commuter or touring bike because it's designed to be a true off-roader, which this bike is perfect for, but then it's also a great one for your regular commutes too. The bike's design has this lean approach which is ideal for any terrain, and here the first thing for anyone to keep note of is that the XPulse has great ground clearance measuring 220 mm and also an excellent combo of suspensions. The front is a telescopic one with 37 mm diameter, and the rear one is a 10-step rider adjustable monoshock one. And here both these suspensions are well set for multi-purpose use. There is adequate softness as well as sturdiness to keep the ride stress-free through all types of riding conditions, and that paired with the best thought-out seat has surely made things pretty great when it comes to comfort. The seat might not seem wide, but here this is designed to match really well, keeping note of the bike's design. And also the seat's cushioning has that good spongy feel with proper density too, which makes the seating experience a really good one for both the rider and the pillion. And also the rider's seating posture is upright, which was an expected thing, and all of this together did give a comfortable riding experience. So here Hero has actually perfected the riding comfort in the XPulse 200 BS-6, and that does make rides through a different scenario a very enjoyable one. And this is one major important factor in terms of the riding experience, and I loved it in the Hero XPulse 200. But one thing to notice that since the bike has a taller standing design, the seat of the rider is on the higher side measuring 823 mm, and yet this number does hold true. I could feel the higher seating thing, but for me it was not an awkward height because both my legs were well planted in road, and without surprises I didn't face trouble from the handlebar too. But then this is something you surely need to check, and as a reference for you, my height is 176 centimeters. And also about the weight of the bike, well, it's 157 kilograms, which is not on the heavier side, and it's a manageable weight, and yeah, Hero did a good job even with the weight distribution. So that's all about the overall riding comfort and handling feel with the XPulse 200 BS-6, and yeah, even though Hero designed the bike as an off-roading one, they surely did think a lot in making the bike a easy to use one for any type of riding. And that's a big surprise because here the whole design theme is a true rough handling focus type. And as I said earlier, the bike has a slim and tall look which is very evident when you check the tank, which doesn't have much bulk but still the capacity is 13 liters. This is a solid metal tank with pretty neat graphics, and overall it does look very attractive and matches well for the bike's design. Then about the tires used, well, they are the dual purpose tires with great grip, and even the wheels are pretty large ones too. The front tire is a 90 mm thick one which is fitted to a 21-inch rim, and the rear tire is a much more chunky one measuring 120 mm in thickness, and it's fitted to a 18-inch rim. But then one thing to note is that the tires used are the tube ones and the wheels used are the spoke type wheels, which is something that's gonna be more usable for rough riding. And then checking the front, well, the mud flap is the dual type one which gives the bike a dirt bike touch, and the headlight is the round shaped one which is a full LED one. It has a classic style which I always prefer, and this one is a sleek one with good functionality too. And here you also get the windshield, which is always a great add-on to minimize the wind blast, which is helpful in the long rides. And then moving to the rear section of the bike, well, there isn't anything spectacular here, but what you get is a design matching tail light along with a comfortable carrier type grab bar, and also the rear mud flap is a neat one too. Then about the exhaust, it's the upset type which is very functional while you ride through some extreme conditions, and here after testing, one thing that I can assure is that the pillion won't face issues from this exhaust. And also there is an aluminum bash plate which is a great protection thing for the already highly ground clear engine. And lastly about the handlebar and the speedo console, the handlebar is the straight type one which is set at the right position so the rider doesn't have to lean much for the grab. And about the switch controls, you get all the necessary ones with the dim, bright and pass light as a single toggle along with the indicator control and horn on the left side. And on the right there is the engine kill switch and the self start control, and here all of these switches are of good quality, and also by the way you get the handguard here which again is a neat add-on. And about the speedo console, this is a fully digital meter which has excellent readability, and here the console has a clean layout with plenty of info like the gear position, trip meter, time, and also there is Bluetooth connectivity available so that you can sync your ride info with the app, and even turn-by-turn navigation is supported here. And lastly, there is the side stand engine cutoff feature available, which is a very convenient feature. So that's everything about the design, and if you like dirt bike styled off-roader design, you'll surely love the way the XPulse 200 looks. But I guess the more attractive part for a regular user might be the core thing with this bike, which is the engine and how it transforms with real-world usage. So for that, well, the engine used here is a 199.6cc oil-cooled 4-stroke single-cylinder 2-valve program fuel injection BS-6 standard engine, and the max power and torque generated is good for paper stuff, but then while hitting the road, things are not like the very fast and quick type responsiveness. But on the other hand, the engine is tuned in a linear manner. And I mean a very linear speed gain is what the engine outputs. It's great because even if you're a beginner, you can ride without any trouble, and yeah, the first gear does have that slight aggressive nature, and that's a good thing for a climb or some intense off-roading. And here after testing, I feel that's what Hero intended to do, and they greatly succeeded in that. The best part of this engine in the XPulse is that it's impressive for off-roading, then it's like great to good for your daily commutes, and finally it falls into the good to the fine thing for highway cruising. Because the engine does show a bit of stress in the higher speed, so that's something to note of while cruising, but then for city style usage, there is nothing like that, and since the handling is easy, you can flick through traffic or squeeze through a congestion, and then if you plan to take the rough terrain, then you can comfortably and confidently get through it. And I'll surely without any doubt make a recommendation for this bike for such riders. It's not suited for everyone, but then for the purpose it's designed for, it's the best in the segment. And that's even noticeable with the brakes and the safety stuff. The front brake is a 276mm pedal disc with ABS fitted to it, and the rear one is a 220mm pedal disc, so this is a single channel ABS bike, and yeah, while testing, the brakes does respond well and there wasn't any stopping issues. The safe panic braking speed I'll recommend is below the 80 mark, and also the 5-speed gearbox is a good one with no gear shifting issues or stuff. And about the engine's refinement and quality, I would say Hero this time with the BS-6 engine has got the refinement thing right. For a speed range from 0 to 90 km/h, there was not much vibration or disturbance, and also the engine's refinement was kept intact. But then pushing further, the engine began to show a slight stress. And lastly about the mileage, well, after my testing, the mileage I got under mixed riding scenario is approximately 43 km/h, which to be frank is a great number for a bike in this segment. But like always, please do note mileage depends on the riding conditions and the riding pattern. And lastly, if you're wondering about the starting method, well, the XPulse 200 BS-6 does get both the self as well as the kickstart. So I guess that's everything about the Hero XPulse BS-6. This bike is something that I was very eager to test, and after my testing time, I'm impressed with what Hero has offered. It's always a happy thing to see such different options, and the XPulse BS-6 is surely a great one I can recommend for anyone looking to buy a bike in this category. It's best at what it's designed for, and that's the main highlight. For everyone who wants a bike for off-roading and daily city use, the XPulse 200 BS-6 is something worth considering. That's all for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, a like is much appreciated, and a sub will be great. See you again in the next one. Till then, bye, and always ride safe.